funding proposal, and also finalize the first draft of the project plans for the fiduciary stewardship project. So I shared that one for feedback already. So this week I'll be working on some further details of that project. So yeah, that's kind of like it for me.
Cool, thanks. And hey, Griff, the way.
GM.
Next we have Nate.
Yeah, so I moved all the ones that were remaining into the new sprint. I also created a new project section called events, TEC events, which include TE as a public good Twitter space, as well as the TEC community call. We're going to plan on having one space this month, and then once we establish the process of getting that space, promoting it, we're going to ramp it up to the following month. And so the first, we're going to continue with the community call for the month of October, and we're shooting for the third Wednesday of every month is what I was initially proposing. And then outside of that, I'm still working on the migration of documentation to the new external Twitter, external Notion site, which is available right now, and trying to aggregate all of the calendars within the TE ecosystem into a single calendar. So those are the kind of what's upcoming for the next month in sprint planning for me.
Nice. Let me just double check. Check these for. Okay, good. Okay, then it's your turn.
Sure. So the thing that I just closed was the forum post, I think, about TCAN. I'm not closing the scope for, let's see, actually, let me look at your screen. So the playbook, yeah, maybe we just go over it. We just have a review, you and I, and then we close that. Checking in with Griff and YGG, Sean, and Rex about the TEC token ABC performance. It's not really anyone's main priority, so I think it's not, gonna be very fast. But I just keep pinging the channel to see if we can get some attention on that. Scope what it would take to migrate TCOP, that's pretty much finished and posted. I didn't close it, but let me think about what I want to do with it, because that is going to continue, but it's going to be a different phase. It's going to be more like working on what the planning would look like in more detail. So I'll leave that one open. Support Scrum process, continuing to do that. And you and I should put another long working session on our week this week.
Yep.
Well, oh, that's it. That's it for me. Yeah. So yeah, I think this week's actually going to be pretty low TEC load for me. Just continuing with the OP migration, but not really taking on anything else. So pretty light.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
And lastly, we have Yushan. This I'm not sure, connecting with Gitcoin. I'm not sure if that was like following up with them. Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you talk.
I'm not totally sure about that TEGR3 connecting with Gitcoin. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's connecting with Gitcoin, but I guess in general, preparing for TEGR3, probably doing like a review. Well, we're still wrapping up GR2, so that's higher priority, and then probably some reflection on TEGR2 to inform our prep for TEGR3. But yeah, I think this week, because kind of got the analysis tools to a pretty stable state last week for the presentation. So I think this sprint is going to be more so data, looking at the TEGR2 data, running that through the app, and then yeah, now we actually have to figure out how we want to process the expertise signal. So I think that'll be between Isaac and I leading that, and then yeah, I'm not sure if we want to do like some advice process or maybe host a call in Discord or something to review, to just like source some inputs from the community on the next step we want to take with the SME signal boosting algo, because we have the tool for exploring, but we need to actually decide basically the parameters. So I think Isaac and I can do some like preliminary work on that and maybe come up with like a hypothesis, and then just bring that to the community for advice process. And ultimately, we're going to have to maybe, Isaac, do you have a little update? Like, what is the state of TEGR2? Are we still waiting on anything from Gitcoin, or do we have everything we need?
Yeah, we have everything we need. As soon as you can run the script and we can get the results.
Okay, so I'll get started on that today. And yeah, especially this week is going to be just focusing on data. I'm going to have to get an updated
Snapshot.
yes, tech snapshot, and then the TE Academy credentials. So basically just pulling all the data together to run
Okay.
GR2.
Do you think, I'm just trying to grab the timeline. Do you think we can get like some at least preliminary results before Thursday?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's a good target.
Okay, then what we can do is, so Sean is going, so you work on the results, and on Thursday we meet, and anyone who's interested at looking at results and giving feedback can join on Thursday. Thursday we finalize the results and we send out the money to grantees.
Cool. Cool. I'll try to come with a few options on Thursday to just show like the different directions we could take.
And just very briefly, if anyone is interested, I'm going to put it here on the chat, but I and Sean, with usually Gideon and Rex, meet every Thursday at 12 Eastern time. 12 Eastern time meeting. I'll add it to the calendar later, but just to not get distracted. Cool. All right. Nice. So now we come back to this current sprint to see what are we going to work on in our goals. In general, I think goals are to first finally finalize the grants round 2. Second, outline and start working on round 3. Because last time I checked, the tentative date for the next round were mid-November. So we probably need to get some, just to get started early so that we don't have to run. Also because we are doing the sponsorships and some other things that are new to us. So that's kind of what I'm going to work on. So that's the grants round. There's also a lot of work to do with communications, both because Gideon is not here, but also because we have new initiatives happening, like the community calls and programs Nate is leading. So we have to incorporate that. I think it's very important that we sort of make processes for that in this sprint. Now we have the comms call all Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and trying to think. I think overall those two would be the top priority goals for this sprint. And so from my side, in general, most of my work has to do with the grants round 2. Let me just quickly check something. Okay, these two are the same. So I'll just have it here. Okay. Most of my work has to do with this, and then there's a bit of work with the round 3, with the plan to reach out to grantees, and I'm not sure if I want to track it as a task per se, but I'm also I have top of my mind. I have the sponsorships and all that for the grants round 2, which I'm not necessarily directly involved, but I need to constantly check with Griff and others. Yeah, that's pretty much that for me. Trying to think if there's anything else I can hop on this sprint. No, well, I think that's it. Then for Uber, for this sprint,
Yeah. So for this sprint, like I said, we have like the tech support documentation with Rex, the advisory group for the next grant round. And I've also added 2 more tasks. One is like going into further detail about the project plans of the fiduciary stewardship documents, and also reviewing. There are 5 particular active roles that we have that need some reviewing to update their descriptions and to actually make them accurate to what we're doing. So I'll be doing that. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, this was one of the things that I was also thinking yesterday, that in a way, not everything that we add on into the weekly stand-up we added here in Notion, but that should be okay, right? So like there's other stuff that we might be doing that gets reflected there, but that we are not necessarily adding here in Notion. And I'm this is more, I guess, like an open question, or just to get confirmation that I'm looking at Notion more as for projects and kind of like bigger type of tasks than minor things. I don't know if that's how it should supposed to get done, but that's the way I've been doing it. So in that sense, yeah, this would be the what I've been doing this sprint.
that's a good question, and at least in my opinion, I guess like ideally we would have as much as possible here on the board. But it's also like if you have to go out of your way for a little thing, it's maybe just not worth it. Like it's the board isn't also like a surveillance kind of board where you have to track absolutely everything. But as soon as you identify like a big chunk of work uh, on your daily, it's probably best if you track it on the board, because it's then also both easier for you, for everyone to just document everything and be clear and sure of what you have to deliver, and also for others to sort of jump in if they need to or whatever. But also would love to hear you, Tam, about that. I hadn't thought of that.
Can you just re-summarize the question?
Versus there's a few things that appear on the daily stand-ups that aren't tracked on Notion. So he's asking like, where's the line there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a bunch of things that we do that's either spontaneous or reactive that we're not necessarily planning to go into the sprint. And I think that's where we share that kind of stuff in the daily, well, let's call it the stand-up. It's more like a check-in. I think the sprint planning is more like, hey, we're planning what we want to accomplish these next 2 weeks. And then we do those, but things will come up, phone calls will happen, something new will happen. And those kinds of things get put into the stand-up. If they turn into something bigger, that's going to actually go, be a meteor task in the sprint, either the current sprint or the following sprint, then we should definitely put that on the sprint board. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, that makes a
Bear,
lot
do
of
you have
sense.
something? Yeah, do you have something specific? Because I find like meetings and stuff like that, I won't put on our sprint board, but I'll drop them in our stand-ups.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sometimes like little tasks. I can check on my daily just to look at an example.
Yeah, I was looking too.
I don't know. For example, some like the work for prepping the TEC meeting, for example, or some of the work in the financials reporting that I do. Are those kind of like things that might be a good idea to include in the sprint planning?
Yeah, they certainly could be because they both take time and it's something that you're doing every sprint. They
Yeah, I
could
was
be.
gonna ask, like, in terms of creating subtasks within the task, is it better to just create, like, just add on to an existing task and keep it going, or is it more? I mean, is it better to create a completely new task for that?
I
If
guess it depends. I tend to just like write a long history in the task itself, but I think it's a lot cleaner to have a subtask that you know has an ending, and then once you finish it, you still have that task running, but it has other subtasks that you have to finish as well.
something you can also consider is like depending on the size of the subtask, you can just have like a checklist within one task and have one liner of that subtask. And if the subtask is too big, you probably should consider doing another task, and there's multiple ways to link them. In like you could just in the comments you could just say this task depends on the other one and you link it. And if there's enough demand for subtasks from the whole team, I can add like a property where you can link tasks as well. Yeah, if that works. Um, well, cool.
I just want to jump in.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I just want to also like just in terms of
Sure.
like guidance, what feels like it works best for you to stay organized yourself? Like I know that we share this board, but I don't think there's one right way to do it. I think our objective is to keep ourselves organized and focused and to have transparency and visibility into what we're doing together as a team. And if that means you want subtasks, cool. Or if you want a checklist, great. If you, that's good too. Does that make sense? I don't think there's like, it has to be done this one specific way or else.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. Thank you, Tam and Isaac.
Yep. Cool. Then we have you, Tam. You said already on the other section some things, but if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just these things that are, why is T grants round 2 in mine?
Oh, because well, this one is for the playbook. So because I marked the playbook as
Oh,
part
got
of
it.
the project. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main things is still supporting Scrum, like you and I having a long call to finish the roadmap and the Notion this week. I think there's the, sorry, that one's not in. And then, I saw Jean, you posted in the forum. Yay, I'm so happy to see that. I think I loved all of your posts. Trying to get more engagement in the forum, especially around the OP migration, so that the community can have a discussion around it. That's sort of like something else. But I would say this sprint, there's not too much of a big thing that I'm going to work on to deliver in the TEC.
Okay, that's fair.
It's sort of like just keeping the OP migration on track and trying to get some community discussion.
Nice. I have to put some comments as well there, but I'll do later. Cool. Then we have you, Nate. We have you here. The book club. It's an idea we have been sort of rolling over for some time, but maybe we can delete that one and replace it with the other um, things you're working on. But
Yeah.
I'll let you take it.
No, that sounds really good. I think it's just kind of not taking the priority at the moment, so we can put it in the backlog. Mapping the amount of hours for the events lead, that's going to take the entire month of October, which I am diligently doing to make sure that we have proper hours allocated in terms of the new events role. When it comes to the current sprint and some of the tasks that are currently in there, I have secured an interview with our first for PE as a public good interview with Jackson from Year in Finance, and we're going to be covering smart contract auditing and the market for smart contract auditing and his work at the Y Academy and training new token engineers on smart contract audits. And so we're going to go over all of that. However, the big question I have is in terms of the comms. I know that Griff has currently taking over for this month as Gideon is out, but who we go to for promotional materials and in terms of promoting this space and post interview promotion as well.
I was gonna jump in and beg that you tell me about these things, and also I think adding them to the calendar, to if you have access to the TEC internal calendar. I think it's an amazing alert for a lot of people in the space that surprisingly have that calendar on their calendar. So I would do both those things, like tell me a date and give me a blurb and like a description and how you want me to promote it. And I'll do more than just tweet about it. I'll also circulate the tweet to people I think that might be interested in stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And are you working on any particular page within the Notion that we can use in terms of the Twitter, or do you just want me to send you a direct message?
DMs are great, and then we're gonna have a weekly call on Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So
okay, I'll start doing those.
And yeah, you could join. Oh man, it'd be great. And we haven't had one yet. I just had a call yesterday with Isaac. So, but we're gonna start that in the regular, and then that'll kind of set my work for Twitter up for the TC for the week.
Yeah, it sounds perfect then. And in terms of graphics, I know that we've used Acid in the past, and Joseph has done a little bit. Is there anybody that we're going to on kind of consistent basis for the creation of graphics? I know that in Isaac, you had a template with slides that we could use. But I'm not sure if that's something we want to have something unique for the token engineering as a public good that is distinct from the community call in general. And so I was going to ask about that as well.
Well, I mean, the templates have there's different backgrounds, so we can, I guess it's up to, at the end of the day, it's up to, we can either use, just use some backgrounds for one activity and some backgrounds for others. Let me just quickly share my screen with the images for everyone to see. Say, for example, we can use these two for public goods and the others for community calls, or if we want, we can just do something new. That's up to us. But that's there should anyone want to use it.
Yeah, and so is this so this is your Figma file? Is there any way you can DM me that link?
Yeah, of course. I'll leave it to you now. Yeah.
Yeah, and outside of that, we have the community call, and one of the big things that I wanted to get started was get a shared document for all of us to, if you have ideas of people that you would like to see interviewed or that you want to learn more about what they're doing, like I would like to incorporate them into, either the community call or TE as a public good interview series. And so just getting kind of a list of people to think about is something that is good for me, because from my perspective, I'm just coming from my exposure to the token engineers that I know of, and perhaps of a completely different group of people that might be very interesting to talk to. And so I just kind of want to get kind of a group effort in terms of people who to reach out to see if they're interested in kind of providing some educational materials or interview. So I'd like to put that in there as well, and I can add that as a subtask within the event as well. So
if you have time, like if the 5 p.m. Monday time works for you, or if not, we can look for another one. Maybe we can use that hour for sort of Twitter and community activities and like that kind of thing. Uh, I don't think we will use like the full hour every time, so maybe it works for both. Or we can see and we can jam on some of that stuff.
yeah, it sounds good. We can just aggregate it into that meeting as well. I think it works well with each other. So yeah, I can make that work. It's you said 5 Eastern, so okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we can make that work.
You want to say something, Bear?
Yeah, just super quick question to Nate. Nate, I think I know that you're working still on the document to set up the events planning stuff. But just wanted to ask you, how are you thinking on the difference in terms of purpose between the T, what's it called? Yeah, T as public good series and like the regular interviews, for example, within the community call. How would we think, for example, us as trying to find new people for this type of events, be thinking as, oh, these people should go into the series, or these people should be better to have them in the community call,
Yeah,
if that
so
makes sense.
no, it does. And this is something that I kind of went back and forth on because we were planning on having a community call on Twitter, but YGG came out with his presentation. And I thought it worked really well. We had a lot of newcomers coming into our Discord, and that may be one of the goals that we have within our community call is to bring more people into the fold within this community and engaging with us on a daily basis. And so having kind of that slightly internal focus rather than strictly external and educational focus would be really interesting, where you have like YGG explaining quadratic tuning of quadratic funding. And something like, I'm thinking of things like Rex and the work that he's been doing on the TEC dashboards and exactly how to set that up for, or what to look for in our community would be another good community call. I think the distinction between the two is kind of sharing what we're working on versus what other people are working on. And so I think of the groups like the Token Engineering Stakeholder Study and the Bonding Curve Research Group as something that's kind of internally and could be part of the community call, whereas like, smart contract auditing and other aspects that are in the industry that can be focused on in the TE interview process that kind of reaches out to a more global universal interest rather than just specifically token engineering in particular within the community call. So right now that is my distinction and the way I'm thinking about it. However, I'm always open to kind of suggestions or ideas. So
That's cool. We may want to just like a quick side comment. We may, if I understand correctly, so then it's like community call is really T focused, and the interviews are more like complementary skills or knowledge, which I think that's pretty cool. For community calls, I think would also be great to have grantees. Like some grantees have sort of engaged in the community, like the Block Boy who's doing the modeling based on Liars Ventures quantitative token model thing. And he's been engaging, and he would probably appreciate feeling like heard if we gave him a space on a community call. But yeah.
yeah, and that may be a weird thing to like a good distinction right there is that if they're engaged within the TE community, then we would focus them on the community call because you have people like Vastly who are working on this kind of like token value capture, and same with Nate. Who's doing value capture mechanisms within token engineering. That would be really good for the internal token engineering community, but not necessarily people who are just kind of getting their feet wet.
I think it'd be really good to encourage and do good outreach to any project who does like top 50%, especially of the quadratic funding round, because not during the rounds, of course, because we don't want to play favorites and skew the results during the round, But after the round and when we're not in a round, we should try to engage with those groups as much as possible and get a little bit of a network effect with them. It's a nice opportunity, and they're more than warm, like as a warm lead to spread our reach. They're like people who are already like feel that they owe us. So connect in a way. So like connecting with them and getting them more involved to create content and spread our like marketing basically, I think is a good strategy.
Do you think those should be part of the internal community call or the external Twitter Spaces?
Both
Would you say
both
that?
and.
Okay.
I mean, I'm up for you to take that make those calls for sure, but it's more just like however we can engage with them, we should.
That sounds good. Yep.
All right, cool. That was a nice chat. I think it's there's a lot of potential in those activities, and also just the fact that we are finally sort of um, looking outside and trying to provide value to outside or more publicly, if you like. Next one. So based on our retro yesterday, there was a lot of notes about token utilizations. There were a lot of notes about many things, but I thought this one was something we could do and was a nice complement to what Tom is doing for optimism. Not assigned currently, but just wanted to have an open session to see if anyone wanted to sort of take on the task. It's not like it doesn't have like a clear deliverable yet, but for example, if I were to take on it, I would probably just take the task as scheduling a call and delivering a document with ideas of how everyone thinks here we can bring token utility, and then sort of running it by the TEC and things like that. Um, but yeah, I'll open the floor to see.
Yeah, I think this was really important to at least have a meeting, kind of a weekly meeting to talk about it, because I do think it has a huge implications on, uh, the bonding curve migration and, how we're going to organize it, uh, you know, versus secondary market versus primary market, how people are going to use the token in the future and what we're going to use it for. So I think it's going to be a big part of the discussion.
Um, would you be up to sort of take this task between the two of us? Like, I'm happy to support, but I guess I forgot about this. I just added that task. We want to make a formal proposal to Gitcoin governance to do some work and research with Tunnel QF. So I'm really focused on that for this sprint. So maybe we can do these coordinate the sessions between the two of us, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, we can just kind of schedule a call and just do that as a first task, and then see how it goes. And if people are engaged with it and we have some type of productive outcome from it, then we can keep it moving from there. But yeah, we can definitely schedule a call for the sprint and just see how it goes.
Okay, just added that quickly. All right. Then we have Gideon. I'm not really sure what's this about, but I'll probably just move it to the backlog. Uh, oh, shoot! It says it was done. I'm not sure why it was marked as sprint 12 if it was done. Um, Let me just add a comment to check with Gideon when he's back so that it appears on his notifications, just in case. And then for you, Sean, it's probably the same thing we were chatting about, just finalizing the results and then sort of scope better the tool. And also I'll add this sort of as, let me have this copy link and relate it to this one. Or I don't know if you want to add anything else, Sean.
No, that's great. Thanks, Isaac.
Cool. Then it looks like we have completed the planning. I don't have you here, Griff. Maybe I can add you, but also not sure how formal we want to do this. You want to do this, you probably won't check the board, I'm sure.
I don't even. I was trying to figure out if I have access to this board. I don't think I
Oh.
do. At the very least, I'd like to have access just so I can like cruise in there and see what's going on, so I can like be proactive on the Twitters.
If you can refresh the page, you should appear now.
Let's see. Oh, tasks. Nice. Okay, cool. Yep, I have it now. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna do whatever you guys tell me to do on Twitter and then come up with random stuff. So I don't know that I'll have so much of a plan.
Yeah.
But if there is something to add me to it, I've just never been good at these things. Tam can vouch for that. But I am definitely really excited to have access to it so I can promote the things that look like they should be promoted.
I just marked you as com support, and I probably like just fill some information, like the things we chatted yesterday and some other things that pop up. And that probably should be just enough. We've never really used this board for comms, actually. Okay, cool. Then that's a wrap. We technically have another hour. I don't know if people want to take the, 10, 15 minutes or even more to chat about another thing. If not, we are ready for this sprint and, we have work to do.
Yeah, I mean, just one last ask for like DMs, especially if there's something you think would benefit from some Twitter action. And yeah, that's all I got on my side. And great forum posts, Tam. Oh my God, the great posts. And retweet the new tweet that I put out today. Please get some retweets. I put it in the chat.
Also, I guess I'll make a call for memes as well. We brought back the meme channel yesterday. They can be of use.
Yeah, get your meme on. Do we have music still in the TEC in Discord? Is that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if the body's there. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Half these music apps just like fail after a while, but yeah. Please, I imagine the comms call will be fast, so we'll probably just end the hour with a meme party every time. So if you want to come,
Nice.
Meme parties are coming back. So if you want to come to the comms call, you get to enjoy hopefully music and a meme party at the end.
Nice, that's fun. And well, I'll open the floor just again, count down to 5, and if there's nothing else, we can wrap it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. This was a quick one and actually fairly complete. So I'm happy with the planning. Yeah, and I'll catch you all later. Just in case tomorrow I won't be available, I'm flying and it's a bit of a long flight. But yeah, we'll keep chatting. Bye.
Thanks, Isaac. And thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Isaac. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you around.
Ciao.
Have a good day.